Hello everyone. This is a short and detailed video on the overview as well as the classification of odontogenic tumors. For more such videos, don't forget to check out our channel and our playlist dedicated to oral pathology and odontogenic tumors. So without further ado, getting right into it. So the odontogenic tumors, they essentially represent a broad spectrum of lesions. That means they include benign tumors, malignant tumors, as well as hematomas. Now, benign implying a slow-growing abnormal proliferation which does not have much invasive potential. It has a bad cousin which is called the malignant, which is rather fast-growing and it has the potential to invade the surrounding tissues like this little boy. The third one is the hematoma, which is basically a developmental malformation where there is an abnormal proliferation of cells in a location indigenous or a native location to these cells. Okay, this is not considered a neoplastic process and it can be remembered by this little cute boy. Okay, this is probably the best cousin out of these three. So odontogenic tumors, they represent a broad spectrum which include benign, malignant as well as hematomatous growths which arise from odontogenic residues. These may be the epithelia or the ectomesenchyme, and depending on the stage there is variable amounts of hard tissue formation. So to understand this step a little better, let's go back a little bit into time and look at odontogenesis itself. So odontogenesis is essentially the formation of a fully developed tooth from embryonic cells. Initially, there is an aggregation of cells which is called the tooth germ, and this tooth germ is derived from epithelium, ectoderm, and the ectomesenchyme. It is organized as the odontogenesis progresses into the enamel organ, the dental papilla, and the dental sac. So here there is varying inductive reactions that occur between the epithelium and the ectomesenchyme which lead to the formation of this fully developed tooth. Much like this, even odontogenic tumors, they demonstrate varying inductive reactions between the two and are thought to be a result of this. So now that we know in detail about the origin, let's go into the classification. In the first slide, we discussed that odontogenic tumors, they represent a broad spectrum and they can essentially be classified into benign and malignant. The malignant, which is rare, it can further be classified into odontogenic carcinoma and odontogenic sarcoma. While the more common and the more important benign, it can be classified into odontogenic epithelium without ectomesenchyme, with ectomesenchyme, and odontogenic ectomesenchyme without epithelium. So essentially the classification of benign tumors, it is a little bit more tricky. If this is our epithelial component and if this is our mesenchymal component, the first part of it tells us that there is odontogenic epithelium without ectomesenchyme. Therefore, there is neoplastic changes that are occurring only in the epithelial component. The second part tells us that there is odontogenic changes in the epithelium as well as the ectomesenchyme. So here you would see neoplastic changes in the mesenchymal tissue as well as in the epithelial tissue. Third part tells us that the origin of these odontogenic tumors is only from the ectomesenchyme with or without epithelium. So here essentially the neoplastic component is the mesenchymal component. So I think this diagram should make it quite clear. Only epithelium and mesenchyme, and only mesenchyme. Further, this was probably the toughest part of the classification. It's very easy to remember the examples. The first part, only the epithelium, it includes the ameloblastoma, the adenomatoid odontogenic tumor, the calcifying epithelial odontogenic tumor, the squamous odontogenic tumor, as well as the keratocystic odontogenic tumor. This one is the controversial one. In the mixed tumors, we have ameloblastic fibroma, the odontoma, which is the most common odontogenic tumor, the ameloblastic fibrodentinoma, and the calcifying cystic odontogenic tumor. The last one, which is purely ectomesenchymal, it includes odontogenic fibroma, myxoma, and cementoblastoma. So remember that the most common odontogenic tumors, they are the odontomes, and the second most common are the ameloblastoma. With this, we have completed our video. Let's just quickly summarize what we have studied. We started by seeing the origin of the odontogenic tumors, where we saw a varying inductive interaction between the odontogenic epithelium and ectomesenchyme. And further, we moved into the classification where benign was mainly classified into odontogenic epithelium without ectomesenchyme, with ectomesenchyme, and ectomesenchyme without epithelium. I think one thing that I forgot to mention in mixed tumors is there can or cannot be the formation of hard tissue. Now, this depends on the stage of odontogenesis that this occurs in, and odontomes are the only one which show us the formation of pulp, dentin, enamel, as well as cementa. So at this point, before concluding the video, I have two questions for you. What is the most common odontogenic tumor? And give 3 examples of odontogenic epithelium without ectomesenchyme. Do comment them in the comment section below. Remember that in the subsequent videos, we'll cover some of the most important odontogenic tumors one by one. And if you liked the video and if it helped you in some way, do like and subscribe. And I'll see you in another video soon. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.